So I figure I should do real audio commentary instead of just basically talking about my progress in game, although it is important to where I'm at right now, because I am recording commentary way after these boss fights that you're seeing on screen take place. But timestamps are below, and I'll start talking about the fight. I do believe that it's important for me, at the very bare minimum, to record these dragon fights and kind of show them off, because not all of them are the same. Yeah, they use the same model, and to some extent we can talk about the variety of enemies in Elden Ring, but even adding an element or a change of location, without much spoilers, changes the fights up and forces you to maybe fight a different way. Though, it is still the same in the moves they do and how you dodge them, so you can still argue no matter what circumstance it is, no matter the model of the enemy. If it's the same type of enemy, say this dragon right here, then yeah, maybe it's too easy. I'm doing air quotes, you can't see me do it. But as you can see right here, I'm doing pretty much the same thing I did with my added knowledge. And I guess it also depends on the gear that I'm using, because at this point, well, here as you're watching on video, I'm using my sword. Can't use magic because it's a Glintstone dragon, or at the very least, magic does little damage, as you see me do in the beginning, which is why I'm hitting it with my rapier. I do have a better weapon by now, but still I'm using the rapier at this point. I think you even see it in this video, I change it up. But I don't still use the L2 skill. But anyway, we're talking about the dragon. We'll talk about the other weapon I'm using when I get there. But for the dragon, you know, it's the same thing, playing it safe, using Torrent to space the dragon rather than try to dodge, because Torrent doesn't really do dodges. Apparently you're invulnerable when you're getting on Torrent, and when you're getting off, excuse me, I'm having a little bit of allergies right now, but other than that, you can't really dodge with Torrent, and some enemies, funny enough, are easier, or, oh, that was a close one, are easier without Torrent, in my opinion, but again, it really depends on your loadout, or maybe your comfortability, or maybe your comfort zone. Maybe I'm just not comfortable fighting Torrent, fighting with on top of Torrent against some enemies. But for dragons, I especially bring Torrent. Here you see me trying to go for the head. I think at some point I just give up and go for the wings because I'm not doing any damage. So we can talk about the damage argument, as you see me just continuing to maybe hit or not hit Smarag's face, because if you hit it on its weaker point, because the head does like about it, I want to say, well, for here it does 30 more damage-ish, I want to say. How much am I doing? Oh yeah, then he resets here, so I have to go back to him. He still keeps his life, fortunately, but yeah, if nothing else, I do more damage to the face than hitting it on its wing or leg, but if I'm not hitting the face at all, and I could have just hit the wing, then I'm doing more damage by hitting the wing, as opposed to trying to go for the face and missing. Of course, if I can keep hitting the face as much times as I would be able to hit the wing, then I should go for the face, but that's why this this version took, this fight here is the longest one I've had, in terms of clears anyway. And by now, I have my own strategy to kind of speed the dragons, although it is a bit more dangerous, as you might have guessed based on, well, if you're doing it so perfectly, do you ever die? And the answer is yes, I do die. A lot, exact. In fact, I think if this is the same video, I can't remember at the moment, but if it is, then I died less to Smarag, and definitely less than Rennala, that's for sure. And that's mainly because Rennala, I was getting the hang of trying to do the first phase perfectly. That way I have more, I have a bigger safety net going into second phase, as opposed to Smarag, who's just any other dragon. And thankfully he's, well, for the most part he is, the fire breath from normal dragons is probably fire element, and Glintstone, this dragon is probably magic based, so wearing magic defense may or may not, I assume it would decrease the amount of damage you take, and increase damage mitigations, but I have already fought a dragon that does a different status effect, or a status effect in general, and that's no fun. Oh goodness, I have allergies, so my voice sounds a little weird, that's why. So yeah, oh my goodness, I get stuck on this cliff for a while, but for the most part, if you want to play it safe, just stay away and run away. really the biggest punish, and if I were to make a tips video for Elden Ring, it's to learn one move from every enemy that you can punish. And that, or the move that to look out for is the sweeping breath, because all you need to do is run forward. Of course, if you guess wrong, or you don't preemptively place yourself outside of dodge range of attacks, then dragons pretty much kill you. Maybe against players who have more armor, they can survive a hit or two. I cannot. And I know you're at this point you're saying, well, why are you still wearing the prisoner's clothes? I was testing out light wear, because if I wear literally anything else, it becomes medium wear. I could take off my shield, I could take off whatever weapon I'm not using, so here, I could not take, or maybe I do have it. Do I have it? No, I have it on me. So I could unequip the wand and put on something bulkier, but either way I'm still dying in one hit, so it's not like it really changes too much. So yeah, I'm just starting to attack the wing now, because going for the face wasn't working out. And so he flies up, and there are two things that happens when he flies up. One is he does this, which you can kind of see I've learned how to space. Sometimes I still get it wrong. A few hours ago I died to another dragon because well, it was more because I couldn't get on torrent in time, because I'm using a different strategy to kill dragons at this point. But if I were to stay on torrent the whole time, it's much easier for me to dodge. Much easier of me to dodge trample, I guess. But most oftentimes when he flies up, he's going to shoot a fire breath, or in that case, positioning himself. But usually it's an attack of some sort. And then yeah, so this I mean, it does depend if he sweeps from left to right or right to left. My left, his right, my left. But the point is that you dodge one way while moving toward him. That way you can get free damage on him as he's doing it. Otherwise, you're going to be really pressed for finding other ways to do damage. This is, again, one of my other ways that I know for sure that I can get damage in. I know the spacing so that he lands in front of me, but not on me, because if he lands on me, I'm dead. Yeah, so at this, if spoiler alert, or not spoiler alert, just so you know, yeah, you do die in pretty much every single hit that this dragon does in these clothes. Here I get kind of lucky too. I think I need to employ jumping a bit more, but jumping was really my last resort. That was my panic jump, among other things. But otherwise, yeah, if he starts to fly up like that, then I know he's going to do trample. I moved back a bit far, but I just wanted to play it safe and not die, because if I die, it's just more time wasted, and there's no point in doing that. I don't know if I'm going to talk about it this video, but I do also, I might as well say, there is, and I would advise most people to learn to dodge or defend against every attack in the game, but if you have some way of cheesing, I guess is the most exaggerated form of it, then you should cheese it. Or if you have some method of just dealing damage and trying to ignore dodging or doing mechanics, then I don't see why not, as long as it's not too risky. At the same, yeah, so I'm going crazy. I couldn't hit him at all. I was just getting so annoyed with it, but it's fine. I killed him. But yeah, I'll talk about what I just talked about more in a later video, because it'll be more relevant. As you can see here, I'm level 34, but as of this recording, I'm like level 50-something, so definitely a bit of a time lapse in between. But part of that is because the enemies in the areas that I'm in now are just give me so much roots, and maybe you could say that I'm not prepared, or I shouldn't be in those places, but I should explore more, because I do notice, compared to other players, I'm kind of speeding through, even though I'm going at my pace. I mean, as long as I'm going at my pace. So, Radagon, on the other hand, I've died to this dog like 30 times, I counted, so this is my 31st time, and obviously, since it's in the video, I beat him. But yeah, I died 30 times to this dog, because literally anything he does kills me. If I really got not tired of it, but I wanted more safety, I would have actually worn armor. Oh my goodness, what am I saying? I would have worn armor. I do have armor at this point, but again, I'm trying to stay with light wear to kind of see the ups and downs. But if I die 30 times, you could kind of argue, yeah, it's not so great. But you see me get hit by magic there, and I survive. Yeah, but if it was a physical attack, I need to not get hit by that. Granted, light attacks like the small bites wouldn't kill me, but the problem with this fight, for me personally, is that they come out so fast, so if you get hit and you try to dodge to heal, well, he can pursue you immediately. In fact, I counted already at least 4 times minimum that I could have died when I was doing something that was pretty much risky. The basic form of it is, if you see me, like, charge my sword or drink a potion while the boss is far away, then it's a risk I take and I could have died. But otherwise, attacks like that, so that's my one attack that I know for sure, when he swings 1, 2, and then jumps up. Sometimes he stops, it depends on the proximity, the AI reading the proximity. I could have died as well. All those projectiles hitting me, and again, I don't go with magic here because the boss is just acts too fast. It'll probably react to me casting a spell, and it does react to me casting the spell. So, the best I can do is poke it with my rapier, which I poke it in between the second hit and the third hit, and then I do a dodge. But, yeah, you can definitely speed that monster down. You can speed run that monster, but the problem is it's fast and hits hard. So, the short answer is we're both glass cannons, I guess. Me less of a cannon and more glass, and Radagon is more cannon and less glass. So, and I do use spirits. I do show you my gear and status really quickly. I do have my flask are actually +2 by now, but there was only +1. So, but it still heals me all the way. I have only put, I think, 1 point in vigor and like 2 points in mind. So, Rennala, on the other hand, another boss where I pretty much not using magic. Spoiler alert, she doesn't take much damage from magic. Unless maybe arcane spells or faith-based spells do more damage, but definitely Glintstone type magic spells don't do a lot compared to what I'm now using, the Hoarfrost Axe. And a little preview for my upcoming videos, I use Hoarfrost Stomp a lot. I should be using it here, but I don't. So, although for this first phase, getting rid of these maidens, or the ones that are singing, or any maidens really, is a waste of MP. You just need to hit them once, you just hit them 3 times. And if for those wearing headphones, it's easier to find them because their singing is directional, so you can tell the direction in case one is in the back area where they are to hit them. Otherwise, you can pretty much rush this. You can rush this. In fact, the second time that she gets up there, you want to, or at least I know I wanted to DPS her down, or make her come down back immediately because she starts shooting much stronger projectiles, pretty much one-shotting me. So yeah, I've died I think 20 times to her for sure. So yeah, and a good number of those in the first phase when I was in the discovery period. But otherwise, you should be killing her, or you should be pushing her to second phase, or full moon phase, whatever you want to call it, within 2 downs. As for the second phase, yeah, that's pretty much almost always going to come out, so that one's easy to dodge. That is the one skill I know how to kind of get away most consistently. But once you start getting close to her, yeah, she does things like that. But I do have spirits. I save my spirits for this phase so that, yeah, she has her attention drawn away if I need to run away to heal, like so. But that shield thing, yeah, it's easy to just get away, but, I mean, the point is to go in close. You can't really use, at least Glintstone type magic, because she only takes, like, 30 damage per hit of pretty much anything. Maybe Comet does, like, 70, but compared to running up and hitting her. I don't know what we want to call this phase. I just call it the summon phase in my timestamps. But she summons things, maybe things you've killed, only things you've killed, but, yeah, she summons Giant, and she can summon a bunch of things, so I think Rennala is going to be hit and miss with people in terms of how easy it is. Of course, obviously, if you grinded a bunch exploring the world, she's probably going to be easier, but I'll talk about that in a later video if I do. Otherwise, for me, though, yeah, it's all about getting in and doing damage. The axe, of course, really helps out. If I was using the rapier, this would be like at least 30-50% times percent longer. I don't know why I hit the dragon. I think that was... I didn't often run into the ghosts. I knew that they went away after a while, but, yeah. I just tried hitting it. So she goes to summon again, and I'm now being chased by wolves. So yeah, this is not fun. I can't imagine how it is for a heavier character, although, again, I don't doubt that heavier players with heavier builds just get in and wreck her, and maybe even stagger her for a critical, or a backstab, or front stab, whatever you want to call it, or riposte, I guess. Oh, I don't play a lot of Soul. This is my first Souls game, but otherwise, yeah, I just go in and rush in. I could, if I died there, that would have been really, really bad. But you know what? I'll take the win. Again, it's all about getting in close, but the problem is getting close sometimes, especially when she summons things. So, I start using Hoarfrost Stomp more in later videos, and you might get sick of it, but I just want to warn you now before you get to that video, if you watch this video all the way. Otherwise, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Yeah, I'm wearing the astrologer clothes, so those are providing a much more defense, and then I'm just wearing that because I have the talisman. Otherwise, yeah, then I brought all health potions because I did. So thank you for watching.